Good evening. It's John Buck with Elite Credit Solutions. We're based in Tampa, Florida, but do business all across the United States. Before we get started, I want to remind you to um, subscribe to our channel so that you'll be aware of future videos coming up, and click the bell at the bottom of the screen so you'll be notified of any new actions that come up. Uh, with the videos that we're sharing. Today, I'd like to talk to you about my worries of a middle class homeless happening in America. We've got a couple of things happening right now. Apartment pricing is going up. Every client that comes in tells me their rent goes up every year. Some of the rents in this area are just out of control. There's some dumps behind me here that a couple of neighborhoods back that is flooded all the time, but they're easily $1,000 for little one bedroom apartments. They haven't fixed them up for years. That's a normal process in a lot of apartment communities. They don't do anything to fix them up, yet they want to raise your rent every year based on a couple things: what the rent in the area is happening, and they're also taking advantage of the housing situation. Um, they know that people needing an apartment either don't qualify due to credit, or maybe they're here for a job, but for the most part, they're not just living in an apartment just because they love apartments. So they're taking advantage of that. They continue to raise up the rent price every year. It's raising. Housing prices continue to raise, which is a good thing if you're owning a house. But eventually, there's going to be a gap. Remember the tool? There's a tool that you keep grinding and grinding, and it keeps closing up, closing up. I forget what it's called, but that's what I think is really happening. You'll eventually reach a point. Your rent's going up, your income's going up, but not that much. And you're going to reach a time where you've got to make a decision. Either you're going to have to work a second, third job. You're going to have to work on your credit so you can qualify for a house, or you're going to have to buy a house. You're kind of um, if you don't make that decision at some point, you could find yourself being the old middle class and find out that you're homeless, or you have no other options. So, improving your credit is very important. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a couple challenges you may have in the apartment search, even if you're not ready to look for a house. You may be if you're getting turned down from a lot of communities, it's one of a few different reasons. Either you had a previous eviction from an apartment community and you're already aware of that. Maybe your credit's lower. These days they can be very picky. They want, so I don't know, let's say they want 600 or better for their apartment community, and that they're okay in scrutinizing the credit and demanding a certain type of person because they know if they turn you down, they've got 20 people right behind you. So they're looking for exactly the right person. So you may find yourself in a position that you've got lower credit. Maybe you don't have past eviction, but you're having a hard time finding an apartment. Here's what's really going on. You're getting turned down if they tell you it's credit by one of a few different things. Either your score's not high enough, they see something on the three bureaus, or apartment communities utilize another 10 or 12 consumer reports. They're a lot like what we're familiar with: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. I'll just keep it generic because there's several different, like Tenant.com as an example. They may report maybe reporting to those other consumer bureaus. So If you do decide to work on your credit, please let us know your challenges that you're having with looking for an apartment, and we may need to do some further disputing for you. Um, my company actually we send a notice to those consumer reports if I know you're having that problem, just so you know exactly where the problem is. And that's not included in our program, but I do have some clients that want me to research it, and that's a consumer report, just like Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. So the process is the same. We just dispute it. Say you've got, and I use as an example tenant.com. That's not a hit on tenant.com. But let's just say you have something showing up there. For if I send a request and you see that there is you are being reported on one of those alternative consumer reports, we would work with you to do additional disputing or whatever's needed so that you could get the approval. Until then, whether you work on your credit or not, um, you want to go to smaller apartment communities or maybe even private owners, because a private owner is only concerned about you look like a decent person. Um, Maybe they will pull your credit. Okay, you got a little bit of Bruce credit, but you got a great job, and they'll take a chance with you. If you go to a big apartment community and you have some kind of issue on either the three credit reporting agencies, or you have an issue on some kind of alternative consumer report, they're probably not letting you in because they know they've got 20, 30 people behind you and they're looking for just the right person. So that's just my helpful hint. Um, if you're having a hard time finding a place and you're not quite there on credit, just go to a private owner, or there's a there's several communities like here in town that are condo communities, but they're individually owned. So you can generally go to an office or something, find out who the owner of that unit is, and tell them your situation. Or you don't necessarily have to tell them the whole situation. Just tell them, express interest, and they'll do whatever checks they do. And like I said, a lot of these individual tenants, they're just happy you've got a great job. You've been at your job a couple of years. It seems like you're making good money. Um, if they do pull your credit, okay, you got a 550 credit score, so they're more willing to work with you. If there's anything I could help you or answer questions in regard to this matter, or if you would like us to talk to you about the opportunities of improving your credit, we'd be grateful to earn your business. My name again is John Bach with Elite Credit Solutions. We're in Tampa, Florida, and I can be reached at 813-317-6776. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel below and click the notification bell. And please consider sharing us on social media for your friends and relatives, business associates. Thanks for your time. Have a nice evening.